Good morning, my name is Chun, and the topic that I will be presenting today is evaluating the interdependencies of infrastructure critical system during a quick event, a case study for Padang City. The first question is, which SDGs is related to this journal article and what should be prioritized? The SDG that are related in the journal article above is SDG 11, Sustainable Cities and Communities. By examining the connection between critical infrastructure interdependence and their vulnerability to seismic hazard in Padang City, Indonesia, the objective is in line with the aim of creating inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable cities and human settlements. The study prioritized the importance of reducing disaster and protecting vulnerable populations, developing more targeted strategies for managing risks, and enhance the resilience of critical infrastructure. To achieve this, the government and citizens of Padang City, Indonesia should take action to reduce seismic hazard in the region. The second question is, what should be done by the government to avoid any disaster and a sustainable development in the case study? The thing that Padang City government can do is, first, implement early warning system. Implementing early warning system can help to minimize the impact of earthquake and other natural disaster because it can provide alerts to residents and allow them to have time to take necessary action to minimize the loss of life and property damage. The second is develop and implement emergency response plans. Developing and implementing emergency response plans is important in disaster preparedness. This plan should clearly define roles and responsibilities for different parties, including government agencies, citizens, and other party related. Emergency response plans should include measures such as evacuation procedures, communication protocols, and resource allocation strategies. The third one is strengthen the critical infrastructure resilience. Critical infrastructure such as bridges, hospitals, airport resilience should be strengthened to minimize disruption and loss during disaster. This can be done by increasing the investment for infrastructure upgrade, maintenance, and modernization are necessary. By improving the resilience of critical infrastructure, the impact of disaster can be reduced. The last one is promote community-based disaster risk reduction program. Community-based disaster risk reduction program can help to engage local communities in disaster preparedness and response effort. These programs might include training programs, community drills, and awareness campaign. By involving local communities in disaster risk reduction effort, residents can become more informed about the risks they face and can take steps to prepare themselves and their families for disasters. The third question is, what obstacles faced by developing countries for sustainable development? The first one is lack of resources and funding. Developing countries often lack the financial, technological, and human resources needed to implement sustainable development initiatives. For example, a lack of financial resources can prevent government from investing in critical infrastructure projects such as renewable energy system, public transportation, network and water supply system. The second is weak institutional capacity and governance. Developing countries may have weak institutional capacity, which can limit their ability to formulate and implement effective policies and programs. These include poor legal and regulatory frameworks, limited access to data and information, and weak governance structure. For example, a weak legal and regulatory framework can make it difficult to enforce environmental regulations. The third one is limited access to education and information. Limited education and information access can make it hard for individuals to understand the sustainable development significance, hindering progress towards public health, food security, and environmental conservation goals. Cultural and linguistic barriers can also complicate communication of sustainable development benefit to diverse population. The fourth is vulnerability to natural disaster and climate change. Developing countries are at higher risk of natural disaster and climate change, which can make it harder for them to achieve sustainable development goals. This is because of challenges related to infrastructure, resilience, food security, and public health. For instance, critical infrastructure like road, bridges, and power grids may not withstand natural disasters such as earthquake and hurricane. And the last one is political instability. Political instability, corruption, and limited cooperation among stakeholders are significant obstacles for developing countries to achieve sustainable development goals. Addressing this issue is essential to create an environment that promotes good governance, transparency, and accountability. And the last question is, what's the differences between man-made and natural disaster? Natural disasters are caused by natural events like floods, hurricanes, earthquake, and wildfire that are beyond human control. Man-made disasters, however, result from human action like transportation accidents, nuclear disaster, and industrial accidents. Natural disaster can be unpredictable, while man-made disaster can often be prevented through effective planning and management. Natural disaster can cause widespread destruction, loss of life, and long-term of environmental effect, while man-made disaster can result in toxic pollution and contamination. It is important to be prepared for both type of disaster and take measures to minimize their impact. So that's it for my presentation today, and thank you for watching. Bye.